SRN's coverage of the Wednesday night truck series. We are at Homestead this week. 2 races to go in this season, so the competition is heating up. We'll get to the points in just a minute. We got a guest broadcaster tonight. Ethan, what's going on, bud?
Nothing much. It's going to be really fun to watch this race. Very exciting race.
Yeah.
And glad y'all are here.
Yeah, let's get to our race info. Let's talk about this track right now. So this is a day race. You can see that, obviously. We are at 78 degrees ambient temperature with 38% humidity, 2-mile-an-hour wind, so nothing there. But look at that track temperature at 130 degrees. That is going to be hot and slick out there. Going to be hard to hang on to those trucks. I would anticipate most drivers are going to stay around the high side, as that is what's fast here. But some of these guys are probably going to stick to the bottom because they're kind of be afraid of getting loose and getting into that wall, and that can certainly hurt your night.
It'll be very interesting to see how well the tires are managed here this race as well.
Absolutely. Tires are going to be key. And these guys are just finishing up their qualifying. Got about 45 seconds left here. Fine. We do have a couple of trucks on track, so we'll go ahead. There's Bobby Hall. He's our points leader. Speaking of points, let's go ahead and pull that up real quick. So in our point standing, you see there Bobby Hall, there's our leader. He's on track right now with 543 points. Alex Healy, also a flex teammate of his, is in second at 532. So 11 points to first to second, and with 2 races to go, that's manageable. But we got a little bit of a drop off here to the third position, which is Dan Worthington in the third position. He is let's look at 500 points, so he's 32 behind that. But look at fourth and fifth. You got Chris Phillips there at 496 points, 4 points off, and at 495 points is Matt Grenier in fifth. So you got 5 points between fifth and third, and that last podium spot is up in the air at this point. So it is going to be interesting to watch these guys and see what they do tonight. Let's pull up our grid as qualifying is done. Looks like Bobby Hall gets the pole there. Chris Barker's going to be in second. Third's going to be Alex Healy. Fourth is Matt Grenier. Fifth is going to be Chris Phillips. Sixth is going to be Gordon Spain. Seventh is Josh Harbaugh. John Schumacher in eighth. Dale Rapp is going to be ninth. 10th is Steven Shu. Hugh is going to be in 11th. Mascot Mike is in 12th. Let's see if we can scroll that grid. There we go. 13th is going to be Dan Worthington. Alex Foster is going to be 14th. 15th, Thomas Hall. Dalton Hall in 16th. Jeff Ledford 17th. Michael Cole in 18th. The last spot tonight, 19th, is going to be Anthony Lane. That's how they will stack up this evening for the start. Well, as these guys get ready to grid, Ethan, what do you think? What are you looking for here? You think these guys are gonna conserve tires or just try to get to the front early?
And if I were them, I would just conserve tires, because the fact is, you can't win the championship this race, but you can very easily lose it in just one lap.
Absolutely. That is going to be key, guys, because these guys up in the top 5, like we just mentioned, we do not want to see them have any issues, or that's going to cost them right there. So definitely can lose it tonight, that's for sure. So let's there we go as we grid up and they get ready to go. Bobby Hall is in the truck. Let's see if we can get a word with him right quick before he gets rolling and gets going. Bobby, Matthew in the booth, you got me?
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Well, looking pretty good out there. You got the first position. You are first in points with 2 races to go. You got to be loving that.
Well, I didn't know if I was going to make it tonight. I was going to be late, possibly. I was on call for work, and I literally just got home and just enough to turn 2 laps in practice, and relied on the teammates for information real quick for hot lap, and it seemed to pay off.
Very good. So tell us what you're going to be trying to do here. You think you just, with the lack of practice, you're going to kind of conserve tires here, or you're just going to go for it and stay out front?
Well, looking at today's race conditions, it's going to be a hot, slick track, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get a couple spin outs early on. I'm just going to take it easy. They were telling me the right front camber is like way off, and you're not utilizing like the whole tire, so that could be a reason why the truck don't handle right. But I'll collab with the team and we'll make adjustments and just just ride, take my time, and
Yep.
try to not get caught up in carnage like previous weeks.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, good luck. We'll be watching.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, there we go. So that's Bobby Hall, your points leader and pole sitter. As they round turn 3 here, we're getting ready for green. Got Chris Barker on the outside there. He's a very fast truck as well, but you see the 15 and 97, those are both teammates of Bobby Hall there, so they'll definitely be helping him and trying to get around this 46 as well. Chris Phillips in the 6th truck there in the 5th position. He is in 4th in points. Oh, and look at that. Just like that, a truck is already loose. Looks like that's Josh Highbaugh is loose there. And the 15 in back Rainier a little bit loose as well. So 38 is going to go below him. And look at the 6. Take advantage of that. He's going to be to the inside of the 97 there. See if he can make that pass on the bottom. Remember, the high side is where you want to be, but on cold tires, this could work out on the bottom as well.
Looks like he's going through the corner pretty good. Gonna hopefully be able to clear him down the straightaway.
Does look like good momentum there for the 6. But still side by side. Can't quite get it done yet. And now he's definitely clear. There he goes. He's clear now, so he's going to be in the 2nd position. Let's see if he tries to take on Bobby Hall or if he's content to ride here for a little bit.
I'll be interested to see if Bobby Hall fights him really hard or just lets him by.
Yeah, he said he wasn't going to go too hard, so he may not fight for this too hard right now.
Instead of staying right with him, not letting him get too far away.
Nope, that's Alex Healy. He's 2nd in our points. He is definitely there as well. 94-97 flex teammates, so he definitely wants to get up there with him, and they're 1-2 in points, so wants to stay on Bobby Hall's bumper as much as possible, but Phillips in the way right now. These guys are single file. We'll kind of pan back. You can see that most of the field pretty much will go up to the blimp here. Be panned through the field. There's Grenier. He's the first one up at the top side of the track here so far. And let's watch his momentum on that 38 of Gordon Spain. And you see, oh, but a little bit of scrape of the wall there, so he's maybe not going to be able to, but still has momentum.
It'll be interesting to see how early this high side comes in. Once it comes in, it'll probably force everybody else up there.
Absolutely, and that's why we're sticking on this right now. You see the 15 gets by him with ease on that high side, and look at the run Steven Shue has to give the bumper to him. That high side, I think, is already there, bud. It is good. 3 different lanes being used right here. See what Steven Shue does. He's boxed in right there.
That's at the outside.
Yeah, and you look, see, Grenier's using the outside in that 15 truck, and look at the gap he's put on those guys in just a couple of laps. Other drivers have to take note of that, don't they?
They have to take note of that, or else they're going to get shuffled through the back pretty quickly.
And you see, just like that, Gordon Spain in the 38, he's up on the track as well. We'll go back a little bit further here, some side by side, trying to figure out exactly who that is. That's Jeff Ledford. Passing Dale Rapp there in the 52. Got Q on the inside of Schuenbachler with the new paint job, so that's going to throw me off for a little bit. Oh, that's tight racing right there. Oh, man, and that's Q right there that I think he thought he was clear, and he was not. And you see him just kind of hook. Ledford just kind of hooked him. He was up against the wall. Nothing he could do. We'll take a look at that again from the high side. And yeah, you see Q's just kind of floating up the track a little bit and nowhere for Ledford to go. And that's going to be our first caution tonight.
That sucks for both of those drivers. This track is very unforgiving. Aerodynamics are quite important.
Absolutely. So they do get one fast repair in this series, but I would think that with with that right there on a 1.5-mile track, I would probably not use it yet, unless you got that meatball flag and something weird happened to that right front wheel. I would probably just try to get some time in, because this could be, you could have something later on. It's really early to use that already. But lap 8, we got our first caution here. Bobby Hall Jr. still up front. Okay, so I just got word on from the race control that the 71, they did view that as moving up, so 71 will get the EOL for that. He is in the pits, so he kind of EOL'd himself, trying to get some repairs done there. And yeah, so we'll see. This battle between these top 3 here, though, was really good, and the 15 was really making up ground, but now he's going to be able to be up front with these guys, going to start in the 5th position. I would assume here, wouldn't you think, that nobody else is going to pit on 8 laps?
Nobody's going to pit on 8 laps. Tires are still new. They have a limited amount of sets. Be foolhardy.
Yeah, I agree with that. So we'll see these guys. Now this is when it gets interesting, though. This hot of a track, got tires that are on a heat cycle. If these guys are in 2nd gear and they drop the hammer on that throttle, you could expect some trucks to get loose. We saw it on lap 1, and it's only going to get worse here. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as these guys try to restart here. And we'll see if we get one to go this time by.
Bobby Hall didn't take off extremely fast that run, but he definitely started gapping Chris Phillips near the end. I think when the caution flew, it was 1.1 second gap. So it'll be interesting to see if Chris Phillips can get around Bobby Hall at the start, because there ain't no way he's getting around on a long run.
Yeah, it doesn't look that way unless Chris Phillips was really taking care of those tires, anticipating a long run. But like Bobby said in the pre-race interview, he anticipated a couple up front, and I tend to agree with that train of thought, that the first 25 laps we're going to see 1 or 2 cautions, and then these guys will settle in, realize the conditions of the track, and we'll get some green flag runs. That is historically how these races go. And so, you know, if Phillips is saving tires, that's going to work out later in the race. And maybe he's just trying to gauge, you know, when he does actually pit, okay, how much did I have left? Can I go harder, or should I stay like this? Good thing is the race is long enough where you can kind of play around and learn some of those things if you haven't had a lot of time for practice.
Yep. Alex Haley currently still in 3rd place in the points. He kind of needs to get in the lead pretty soon if he wants a chance at getting the championship next week, because I've been watching Bobby Hall the past couple of weeks. He's not one to make a lot of mistakes.
No, he is not. And I'll tell you, when he does get caught up in something, he's very good at recovering. And so, you know, you're right. Alex Healy, you know, even if he only finishes a couple spots behind him, it's a couple more points he's got to make up next week. He's got to chip into it here. So he's got to be on that wheel from start to finish here. And they are back under green. Not too loose. Everybody kind of got a clean start there, but a little bit of a breakup. Alex Healy, is on the bottom now of Chris Phillips, and he's going to go ahead and see if he can pass him on the bottom here early. Not sure that's going to work out, though, but that was the lane he had. They come down the backstretch here, nose to tail, very close. Now Alex Healy to the high side. Let's see if he can get some momentum there.
You can see Phillips running a slightly different line than Hall.
Yeah, just trying to do something a little bit different, looks like, doesn't it? Healy way to the high side there. Side by side, high ball and Barker. Outside looks like it's going to prevail.
Labata for the lead. Hall to the outside. Phillips dives to the inside.
There it is. Oh, and Hall's in the wall. Didn't damage the truck, just cost him momentum, and that's going to cost him 2 spots right there. That's exactly what both of those drivers wanted to see. But I would not count Bobby Hall out. Anytime that happens, he's probably going to get back up on that wheel, and he's going to get it back.
probably take a few laps for that high side to really come in, but once it comes in, you gotta watch it come back.
Yep. Oh, we got a truck on the inside. I did not see who that was. But it looks like he kept it going, so we will not get a caution for that. Just a little out of shape there. Josh Highbaugh here on the inside, still a Chris Barker. They're still going after. Now he's going to sell him inside. Oh, and now Barker goes to the inside of Gordon Spain for the 4th position. You know, it's like everybody's trying to make these passes on the inside, and you know, the guys are protecting the outside because they know they'll get passed on the outside. And so, you know, if you feel like you're faster, the only place to go is to the inside, but then you get slowed up because that's not the fastest line. There you go again. You see Matt Grenier all the way to the outside against that wall.
Once we get in the long run and everybody's running the wall, it's going to be almost impossible to make any clean passes.
Yeah, it's gonna get tougher for sure. Look at Healy up there. Watch this run. He gets on Spain. He's going to have to cross over, but that's going to put him on the bottom side for the next corner. Go behind him, though, so no crossover there. Back up front, Chris Phillips is now getting a little bit of a gap. Bobby Hall got himself back into the 2nd position here. He gets back around Alex Healy, but that gives Phillips over a half-second lead, so he's comfortable now. He can run where he wants, but look at him. He's still staying on the bottom. I guess when you're out front in clean air and you can go all the way up to the wall, it's probably not as detrimental as when you do have a car on your outside running the bottom. So he's able to keep that at pace, and we'll see if he's able to grow that lead or not. And back through the field.
These drivers.
Go ahead.
These drivers know how long the fuel window is.
Yes. We got this Dalton Hall back here in 10th position. It looked like these guys were going at it with Shu and Bachler, but looks like Shu got by, and this is kind of settled out by the time we got here. And you see how quickly these trucks get to single file racing. Just that it's the track, you know. It's only one real good line here, and as I say that, it looks like Gordon Spain and Chris Barker going back at it. Now Barker's got the outside. Let's see if he can get that momentum. Matt Grenier's up there as well. He's been there the whole race. Chris Barker's using a lane he's kind of using the middle here, not going up as high as Grenier, but not as low as Spain, and they're all still kind of even here. So
it's like Grenier might be able to get through their outside this corner.
I think Grenier's a little loose right there, but I think he's a little bit faster running that high side. It's just when he gets, you know, he's got trucks all around him, and he's got nowhere to go really. So he doesn't want to do the crossover either, because that's going to put him on the bottom. He's just got to be content here for the moment. As you see now, Spain making a move on Alex Healy for 3rd. If he can make that pass.
Bobby Hall's been catching Chris Phillips on the outside lane.
Let's take a look at that as Spain does make that pass on Healy. So Gordon Spain to the 3rd position. The gap right now is about 1 second. 4 or 5 laps ago, it was about 6/10. So he has made up some ground, but let's see if he is going to keep that or if it's starting to shrink now. Now you see Chris Phillips going to the outside. So I think Chris Phillips and a lot of these guys, I think the strategy is while the tires are fresh, you know, 10 laps or so, 10, 15 laps, go ahead and run that bottom when it feels good. Wow, Alex Healy way out of sorts right there. Gonna have to gather it back up. But you run that bottom side for a little while and then go to the high side. But as I make that point, Chris Phillips back to the bottom. So that gap is gaining a little bit. It was almost up to 1.2 there in the corners. So ever so slightly is he making ground. And it looks like he's going high side 1 and 2 and low in 3 and 4. Maybe that's what he's doing right now. And I'm starting to see more trucks use that high side as well. We got Highball on the inside, Chris Barker on the outside. I think Highball is going to make that pass on the inside. Gordon Spain's going to hold up Barker there just a little bit. Problem for Highball here is he can't get to the outside off the corner, and that is costing him momentum. He can't get back to that throttle as soon. Alex Healy hangs it out again. Let's take a look from above here at Alex Healy. He just seems very loose. I don't know if he's eating up those tires or what, but very loose off the corners for him. That one not too bad, and you see Grenier there in the middle there. He's trying to make a pass on Schumacher for 6th.
Haley has fallen back a lot.
He has, yes. I mean, he restarted 2nd, right, and now sits in 8th. And it looks like the 00 there is Steven Shue is hunting him right now. And you know, just a couple of slides that I saw, or we saw there on the broadcast, you know, that can heat up the back tires of Alex Healy really fast and make that car, you know, he doesn't have that much tire wear, but that heat will just absolutely destroy speed.
Doesn't really have the handling to run the outside wall efficiently either, so
doesn't really look like it. Yeah, he is dealing with some handling issues, and that could be the heat as well. But look at the close rate of Steven Shue there. Now on the bumper of Alex Healy. Now he gets a good gap again. So while all this is going on, take a look back up front. Chris Phillips is got a 2-second lead right now and is just continuing to make that a wider and wider gap. Now I got to imagine, and I'm not in the truck. I couldn't tell you specifically, but I'm thinking maybe 60 laps they can go, 55, something like that. So we're only halfway through this run. And we're going to have to see if this speed can keep up for Phillips, or if he's going to kind of fall off, and Bobby Hall and Gordon Spain back there are going to be able to shorten that gap up a little bit.
Ever since Phillips started running the outside and one set of corners, he really started putting the heat to Bobby Hall. He's pulled away extremely fast.
Yeah, all the way up against the wall there in 1 and 2. That's where he's running the high side, and then goes back to the bottom in 3 and 4. And I mean, it's working. It's fast. So I wouldn't change a thing right now. Ooh, and I just saw Matt Grenier in the back of our screen there. That blue yellow truck right there, he got loose off that corner as well. Okay, so the 97 of Alex Healy has just radioed that he is going to go ahead and pit. Now in the 9th position and is going to pit. So that's got to be early, but he might be backing this up where if he pits now, he might be able to make it on fuel in one more stop. And since the tires are kind of going away for him, he figures, let's go ahead and do it now. We will have to wait and see when these other guys begin to pit. 46 is coming in now, so 46 and 00. So, okay, so we got quite a few guys coming in here, essentially 30 laps. Chris Phillips coming in from the lead.
Came in a little bit hot there. Hope he wasn't
Yeah, he
speeding.
did. Yeah, we'll have to see on the back end. I think he got it slowed down, but he did go in pretty hot. So that's going to hand the lead to Bobby Hall here. Now, historically, Bobby Hall does like to go a little bit longer on these runs. He tends to hang on to his tires and do a few more laps than these other guys. So we'll see when he wants to come in. Several guys still staying out. Looks like the top 10 have not pit. There's second and third right there. Highball trying to get it from Spain.
Seems to have been going at it for laps now.
Yeah, just to give you an idea of the fall off on tires as well. So Bobby Hall is leading right now. His best lap is a 34.48. His last lap is a 36.41. That is almost 2 seconds off of the pace. So every lap he stays out there, he's losing 2 seconds to Chris Phillips, who's now coming into your picture right here for the second and third battle. And he is going to split him right here so he can try to get his lap back the old-fashioned way before these guys even pit.
Haley currently is second of the guys who've already pitted, so we'll see if he can gain any spots running fast. The new tires.
Yeah, we'll see. And as we get these kind of differentiating pit strategies, which we see quite a bit in this series when we get these green flag runs, is you'll start to see these guys just kind of leapfrog each other for quite a while. And so, you know, Healy will be up there for a while, but then by the time these guys pit and get their tires warmed up, he's going to already be falling off, and they're going to be in their prime. And so he's probably going to pass a bunch of these guys quickly here as soon as they decide to pit, but we'll see if these guys can hang on to it. Let's see, Alex Healy is low. Let's see if he decides to come in. Not look like he's going to do it this time, so he's going to go at least one more. He's already 4 laps past these guys. He'll be 5 this go-round. It looks like the top 6 now have not pit. Take a look at Healy here. So he is right now the first one a lap down. He has pit. He's going to get around Gordon Spain here. And then the next car to pass is going to be his teammate, Bobby Hall. And he will then have unlapped himself.
Hall's got to come in soon. He lost 2 seconds plus to Chris Phillips that lap.
Yeah, you would really think so. I mean, you would really think so. But so Dalton Hall is going to go ahead and pit now, and that leaves 5 trucks that have not pit at this point. And as I say that, Dalton Hall says he is going to go ahead and pit from the 4th position. He's coming in. There's Bobby Hall, so Healy got by him. Barker's getting by him. He is definitely doing the long game here. So first truck right now, a lap down, is going to be Steven Shuku, and he's only a couple of trucks behind our leader.
There you heard the 41's coming in.
Yep, 41's going to go ahead and pit. And look at that, Shu and Grenier trying to figure out how to get around Spain as fast as possible here. There they go, and right in front of our Bobby Hall. Bobby Hall's going to have to concede here. Steven Shu will unlap himself on this corner. Looks like Grenier's going to be able to do that as well. That puts Chris Phillips, who was our leader as this cycle started, he's in the 4th position now, as there's just 3 trucks that have not pit. Oh, look at that. Healy is loose again coming off that corner. He's scrubbing those tires every time he does that.
Whatever adjustment they made obviously wasn't enough.
Yeah, still very loose for him. So Bobby Hall, Gordon Spain, Mascot Mike, the three that have not pit at this point. There's two of them in your screen right there, and no sign really of pitting at this point in time. So interesting what they're doing here. So these three guys are going long here, and if we stay green, these other trucks are going to have to go long later in the race, and then Bobby Hall will have the fast tires. And there goes Bobby Hall right now. He's going to go ahead and pit. Gordon Spain's going to stay out. He'll become our leader. So yeah, he's just I guess he's just taking his medicine right now. He knows that later on in this race he can if we have green flags that he's going to have shorter runs that he has to do, and he'll have fresher tires towards the end of this race as these guys will do longer runs. So we'll see if that works out for him. Different strategies certainly already kind of showing themselves here. There goes Bobby. So Gordon Spain in the lead, but again has not pit yet. Chris Phillips is 20 seconds, 20 and a half, call it, behind the race leader. And so, you know, this is a situation where with Spain staying out this long, he's going to be a lap down for quite a while. And if any caution does come out, that's going to trap him a lap down. Now, there's a chance that he would be the first car a lap down. But with Bobby Hall pitting and the speed that he has, I got to imagine that Bobby Hall is going to be that first truck lap down to get his lap back. As I say that, Bobby Hall has just unlapped himself because Gordon Spain is going into the pits now. So the lone truck that has not pit right there, the 55, Mascot Mike, and he is only about, I mean, not very far in front of Chris Phillips. He is in screen right there, so he's going to lose a lap before he even pits here pretty much.
Alec Haley was back in 8th before he came into pits, currently running 2nd of the guys who have pitted, but he's losing a lot of time with Chris Phillips every lap.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll see, he's got Barker behind him right now too. We'll see if he's able to hold Barker off. Chris Phillips is back to the point now. He got around Babinchek there. So he is back to the point to Alex Healy, about 5.5 seconds. So over that whole exchange, even though Healy hit it earlier, still got quite a good gap on him there. Got a couple of trucks battling here. This is the closest battle on the track between Dalton Hall and Dale Rapid 52. Side by side, they go into turn 3. Like that 44 is definitely faster. Must have some fresher tires there. 55 of Mascot Mike. He's heading pit now. So Chris Phillips out front, teammate Jeff Ledford there. Jeff Ledford is a lap down, so he's going to get around him. He's got fresher tires. And, ooh, and he's loose right there. He's going to get around and get back on the lead lap, I believe. Shows him a lap down, so he may have been a couple of laps down there. Not sure exactly, but Chris Phillips in command, and his lead is growing. It was about 5.5 when I mentioned it a couple laps ago. It's 6.5 now. Chris Phillips is in control of this race. Let's check in our points leader, Bobby Hall, in the 8th position now. And he is about 13 seconds, 13 and a half seconds off of our race leader. So that's what staying out those extra 6 or 7 laps did for him there. But he does have a faster truck now with those fresh tires. So you'll see how much over this run he can close that gap.
And keeping an eye on the battle for second, Alec Healy nearly spun a couple laps ago, allowed Christopher Barker to catch and get around him.
Yeah. I think Healy is I don't want to say overdriving necessarily, but just getting loose off those corners and heating up those tires is not working out for him, and he may be feeling it. He knows if he has any shot at this, he's got to chip into that lead now. But I mean, if I'm him, if I was his crew chief spotter, I would be telling him it's time to just kind of ride for a little bit here. You've got 4 positions on your competition right now, and let's just keep it here. You know what I mean? We don't got to win this race. We just got to beat the 94.
Exactly.
But remember, this is going to be tougher and tougher for him at every lap that we go, because he is the first one that pit about 18, 19 laps ago. So he's already got a good amount of laps on these tires. As you see Grenier go by right there, so Grenier is going to get by him, 3rd position. There's a truck way out of shape back there. Yellow truck didn't exactly who that was. Healy's battling back on the outside, so he's not willing to give up just yet. Back through here, it looks like Bobby Hall going to the bottom here, trying to get around the 71. See if that leaves the door open for the 33.
Bobby Hall is definitely making a lot of time right now.
Yeah, absolutely. He staying out late like that. He's got the fresher tires. He's already up to the 5th position. And as Chris Phillips crosses the stripe right here, we are 50 laps in and 75 to go. And he's got a almost 7.5 second lead over his teammate Barker. And you can see right, and Chris is a little loose there coming off of the corner, but you can see that you can't even see another truck. They're finally coming around 2 as he enters 3 is where his competition is. So great lead for him right now. He would love to see this stay green. And as spread out as they are, there's a very high probability of that. Like Schuenbachler there in the 41, a high ball. They're battling here for the 6th position. And that 55, now remember, he just pit not too long ago, so he should be faster than these guys as you see him pull away now. And the 41 makes the pass on the bottom. He's going to take the 6th position away. And look at Bobby Hall, all the way back up to 3rd already. Still a 9-second gap though, but definitely fresher tires. I mean, he is cutting into the lead for sure, but it's a long road ahead still. Haven't really called Dan Worthington's name there. He is back in the 13th position, fighting for 12th right now with the 52 of Rapp. Takes the bottom, Rapp takes the top. Rapp is loose up there. And they're going to go side by side. Closer up to the front here. Now you see Highball going around Healy for the 5th position. So Healy is starting to fade again. Highball is moving through now in P5. And after all that staying out, the 55 you see in front of these guys is the first truck a lap down, so it did cost him some time there for sure, but at least if we get a caution, he will be the wave around.
Drivers are doing a very good job at keeping it all together, staying in line, not broken.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at the 94 just shoot by the 46 there. Bobby Hall back into the second position, about 7.25 seconds behind Phillips. Was 9 just a couple laps ago. Definitely cutting into that lead. '52's gonna pit right now. It's Dale Rapp. 71 pit as well. That has to be a little bit early there. Yeah, even if you did pit around 30, it's only been 26 laps. So if you're only going to do 30 each time, they got 4 sets of tires, so they really could do that. But if we stay green, pitting an extra time than everybody else, I don't know. I don't know if that'll pay off or not. You see Chris Barker there in the 46. He gets loose on the outside. Out front just sailing around. He crosses right there. Still 6.5 above Bobby Hall. See, now that Phillips has some laps on his tires, he's up to the top in 1 and 2 again. It's close though, man.
Some of these drivers are struggling extremely hard to hang on to their trucks right now.
Absolutely.
It's like he might have brushed the wall there. I couldn't tell for sure.
Maybe just a little bit. The thing about being up against it ain't that hard.
For sure.
Looking back through the field here, I don't really see any tight battles. This is kind of the closest one we got is Grenier and Schumacher here. This is for the 6th position, but still almost half a second between them. Chris Barker now is kind of falling back into the clutches of that 46. As I mentioned, from 3rd position, he's going to go ahead and pit here. So these guys, some of these guys are definitely doing some just 30 lap segments is what they're going to do. I got to imagine they could do more on fuel, but since they have the tires, they must feel like the fall off is great enough to make it worth it. So 46, 41 coming into the pits. I wonder if that's going to drag the leaders back into the pits here. Now, Bobby Hall probably doesn't have to pit. He stayed out for another 7 laps or so. But let's see. I mean, let's see if Chris Phillips decides to come in here pretty soon. There he goes. He's in the pits now. So there you have it. These guys are pretty much going to be doing 30 lap segments here. Bobby Hall's going to go back to the lead, and I wouldn't imagine he's going to pit for at least another 10 laps.
Maybe more.
I mean, think about it. If he goes 10 laps, the first 3 segments, he doesn't even have to pit the last one. He can go the whole way. He's going to be off pace on tires, but, you know, the minute or so that it takes to pit, it's going to be interesting. I really hope that he tries to pit one less time than the rest of these guys, because I would really love to see which strategy is going to be best. We are quickly approaching halfway.
This truck is really dialed in today. He's got a really fast drive.
He does. There's a reason why he's the points leader, that's for sure. And this, seeing it right now. Even shoe pitting. Chris Phillips pits, comes out in the 10th position right now. We'll see if he leapfrogs these other guys, but he's not even a lap down at this point. And he's going to be faster than Hall. trying to take a peek here. So they're basically, as Phillips goes into 1 or into 2, Hall is going into 1. There you see him in the picture right behind him. Now he's going to start to gap him because he's faster. And then Hall's going to have to make this decision. If he stays out, how much is he going to lose? The way he came back and was in second position, I mean, he may be able to do it on 3 stops when the rest of these guys are going to do 4. I mean, I guess if you think about it, everybody's going to do 3 anyway, right? You'll do it at 30, 60, 90, and then you're not going to pit at 120 with 5 to go. You'll just go the extra 5. So
Right.
that kind of makes sense to me. Now I'm really questioning why Hall is staying out, but he gets the winner's circle. We'll ask him.
Shorter the final run, the better, because that's when you want the most speed. That's when you
true.
want to be able to get past the quickest.
Yeah, that's a good point, but he does have to have time to get back to him. You know what I mean? So he's going to need, what did he need here, 20 laps or so? So he's going to need 20 laps at the end at least to have those faster tires to make that work. So we'll see. If he goes a little bit long here, he might be able to short pit the next one and split that difference.
He may be gambling on a caution, which I don't really. The way this race has panned out, I really don't see another caution coming to the picture. But it could surprise anybody.
Yeah, I mean, it can happen. You never know. And I mean, at this point right now, you know, you got 9 trucks on the lead lap. That would really separate the field.
It would really help whoever had just pitted. Everybody else at a severe disadvantage.
Yeah, absolutely. So Bobby Hall there still leading, still staying out, and I mean, quite a few guys are still staying out because we saw them kind of trickle into the pits, and so we'll kind of see them trickle back in again. So we will have to see where these guys go. So Bobby Hall's in front, Gordon Spain there in second. Healy, he already pit, 41 already pit, so they're going to go around him right now. But I mean, Gordon Spain is quietly having a great race. I mean, he's been up front the whole time. He's on a slightly different strategy here than Hall, but he's also only less than 2.5 seconds behind Hall. So depending on when he pits, I mean, he could definitely be in the mix here at the end. We'll go back to Hall here as he crosses the line here. We will officially be halfway. And look at 3 wide behind him. Alex Healy going to dip to the inside there. Get around. I got to assume the 41 is going to be able to make easy work of it as well with them fresher tires. Bobby Hall is just running around doing his thing. Looks like
He has started to lose quite a bit of ground to the rest of the field with his older tires.
yeah.
However, it's going to be interesting to see if Spain can catch him before he comes in.
Yeah, he's definitely catching. Not super fast, but he's definitely catching. 93, Dalton Hall from the 5th position is going to go ahead and pit here. I put it on Grenier because it looked like he kind of got out of shape a little bit and off pace, but he looked to be fine, so not sure what that was. But it looks like every lap, it looks like Gordon Spain is about a 10th or so faster. So he's catching him under 2 seconds now. Yeah, like I said, these guys are on similar strategies here. You know, whatever Hall's doing, Spain's doing, and it seems to be working for both of them. Like Healy and Highball going at it here. I think they pit at somewhat similar times. Highball a little bit after he may be able to make a quick work pass here. able to do it yet, so they're gonna try it one more time. High ball to the bottom.
I'm surprised he made up as much ground on the corner as he did on the inside lane.
Yeah, he's doing very good down there. He's fast down there. I just don't know, you know, is that good on tires, or, you know, is it going to make him kind of wear out quickly? Right now, he's just thinking about getting to the 5. He's not able to do it on the bottom there. So, and Healy's doing a great job of protecting the top. He's going in really high, so Highball has no choice. And I think he's just saying, hey, this is where I'm going to be. If you can pass me on the bottom, go ahead. But you're going to destroy your tires trying it. As we say that, Bobby Hall is on pit road right now. Gordon Spain is the lead. Chris Phillips is in second right now, over 12.5 seconds behind Spain. Now, I'll say this, if everything plays out like it had before, you know, when Phillips pit last time after 30 laps, he still had 5 or 6 seconds on Bobby Hall. And if that plays out again, you know, that means that in those last 5 laps or so, that he's still going to be out there, and Bobby Hall's going to have, you know, going to be able to kind of short pit a little bit. He's going to have to still make up those 6 seconds, if not even more by this time. So the question is he going to have time, or is he going to run out of time here on this strategy? But either way, you got to figure Hall's going to finish in the top 5.
Oh, for sure. And the way Healy has been struggling, Hall is not gonna have any competitors in the points after this race.
No, absolutely. That's a great point that Healy is. He's in 5th now, but is he going to be able to finish that high? Is he going to be able to pull this out and get, you know, a respectable finish here, or finish ahead of Hall? I'm not sure he's going to be able to do that.
Whether Chris Phillips wins this race or finishes second, it's going to make a drastic difference in the points. Because look at Daniel Worthington; he's been outside the top 10 most of the race, trapped a lap down. I don't see him able to come back at all.
No, and that's true. Worthington sitting 4th in our point, and this, I think it's 4th. Hold on, let's pull up the points here real quick. Let's take a look again. There you have it. Worthington is actually in 3rd. And Phillips is in the lead right here, and with a 4-point gap, yeah, Worthington is in jeopardy of losing that podium position on the second to last race here. Bobby Hall is just blasting through the field, already back up to 6th, overtaking Steven Shue right now. And the next truck he's got to pass is Alex Healy. Got a few seconds to him, but Gordon Spain is out here for the long haul. I'm telling you what, he is maybe just gonna pit. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
He's gonna be 2 or 3 seconds faster than everybody else when it comes back on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's gonna make it up here in a little bit. But is he gonna pit again later? If he's going to pit again, this is probably too long to go. But if he's going to try to make it the whole way and not pit again when everybody else has to, then that's his play. We'll have to see.
He's going to stay out. He's still got seven or more seconds on Chris Phillips. So this could be a good way to short pit and actually win the race.
Something happened with Chris Phillips right there. It said he was going into the pits. He was at like 7 seconds behind. Now he's almost 9.5. I think he got wicked loose off of a corner right there. And let's see if we can take a look at it here. So here he comes. It's like he thought about going to pit road but wasn't going to make it and pulled out. That is a huge mistake here from the 6 of Chris Phillips. And now he's coming in. So now he's going to come in this time after not being able to do less than. So he's short pit on this cycle right here, and he's going to go 47, 46 laps to the finish. 15 laps longer than he's gone before.
It's gonna be an extremely long run. You gotta hope the tires aren't gonna wear out, because you heard that some of these drivers are experiencing uneven wearing. So
absolutely, but what he's doing is he's taking away the advantage that Hall has right now. Hall's gonna have to pit again. I just don't know. I don't know if that's gonna work. Now I'll say this: the fact that he tried to get to pit road and couldn't do it on the first try, that cost him about 2.5 seconds, right? And so you had 6 seconds before, take 2.5 off, and Hall's still sitting on his strategy. I don't know. I think that could hurt him, but he did have a big gap, so we'll see. So Gordon Spain's still out front. Chris Barker's in the second position. Sorry, he is 16 seconds, 17 seconds off of the lead right now. Highball in third with Hall in fourth. Healy has fallen back to sixth. And we've got 45 to go here.
how about that Joshua Highball? He's had a very good race. Stayed inside the top 5 or 6 pretty much the whole time.
Yeah, he's fast too, and he's using the bottom quite a bit, which is very interesting. Having a solid race too. You don't see him getting loose, him having any issue like Bobby Hall. Let's go back to Chris Phillips here, now in the 12th position. Third car a lap down, and the 26 is around on the back. That 26, 726. I'm trying to figure out exactly who that was. I think that was the 726. He's on the pits, and we got a caution. This is going to shake things up. And Chris Phillips is trapped a lap down, not the first lap car, so he is going to be trapped and stuck a lap down right now. He's going to be hoping for a quick caution again for sure. And Gordon Spain maintains the lead and is going to pit, and probably everybody's going to pit with him here. Wow, did that not shake things up or what?
Yeah, wow.
So nine trucks are on the lead lap. Obviously, one will get the wave around. That's going to be Foster. So we'll have 10 trucks on the lead lap when we get going here again. And there you see Spain coming down, and the 24 did not follow him. Of course, that's our wave around, so I wouldn't expect that. And then almost everybody, but let's try to see who is staying out here. 52, 44, those guys are lapped down as well. So everybody on the lead lap pit. And we'll stay on this pit lane right here. We'll check the race off. And I feel like that's Chris Phillips the pit, but it should have been closed for him a lap down, shouldn't it have been?
I mean, if everybody on the lead lap pitted, I'm sure he would have been able to get his lap back.
Yeah, he might have been able to get a wave around. But it looks like he pit. No shocker there. Bobby Hall is going to be your winner off of pit road. Having that first pit stall has its advantages. Bobby Hall got his tires and is in the lead. Gordon Spain's going to be in second, Barker in third.
As it stands right now, Chris Phillips is the first car 1 lap down, so he needs an immediate yellow and not to be passed by anybody else.
He needs a, yeah, exactly. Very quick caution so that he can get back in the fight here. And look at who he's going to be fighting with, Dan Worthington, who's third in points. So he's exactly who he's fighting again to get that last podium spot. And so they're going to be, that's the race within the race. Is he's going to be trying everything, both of them are going to be trying everything they can to get in front of the other so that if a caution happens, they can get that wave around. They just don't want to beat the caution.
Exactly. I don't know how many of these drivers were relieved to see a caution, but I know Daniel Worthington was probably the happiest one.
Absolutely. A lot of these guys needed it, honestly. And Chris Phillips is pulling to the bottom here. I think they're going to send him to the rear since he's a lap down there. Yes, so he's going to have to go through with these guys. And looks like lights are off and they're going, and the guys in the back are still trying to get it figured out. And it looks like race control is going to go ahead and try to lengthen this and get the pace truck back out there because they were not lined up in the back. And you know how iRacing is. It'll just start black flagging everybody who's not in the right spot. And so we don't want that. We're going to get this, give it just another second here. So we'll re-rack them here. It looks like these guys are waiting on the pace truck. There it comes now, and they'll probably get one to go as they cross the stripe here, and then we'll get this thing going. It looks like they got all the trucks sorted out at this point. So if we go back to this, we'll go up to the blimp here. So you're going to see Chris Phillips there. He's going to be on the outside. 93 is the truck behind him, and then the 113 at the bottom of your screen, that is Dan Worthington, third in points. So he's going to be 2 trucks behind Chris Phillips. Chris Phillips has got to stay in front of him, but not be part of the caution. And this is, you know, when it's later in the race and we got cold tires on a hot track, this could be pretty treacherous. So looks like we're gonna. Don't see the pace truck. We're going to get going right now. We're under green again, and look at all the trucks waving around the 71, and the 6 has to go to the inside there to get around the 71 to not get hit by him. But that's definitely going to help him out. He's going to have a gap on the Dan Worthington, the 113. He's working the outside there, the 55. Meanwhile, up front, Bobby Hall has maintained his lead, but Gordon Spain is right there with him. Gordon Spain pulls to the bottom. He's going to try with those fresh tires on the bottom. He has nosed ahead here. And they're fighting hard right now. They think if we're getting another caution here, he's got to be out front. Bobby Hall is going to wind it up on the outside and see if he can get a run off the corner, which it looks like he's fixing to get. Gordon Spain tries to shut the door there. A 55 off into the infield there, but he keeps it straight, so he'll be all right. Gordon Spain to the lead. Alex Healy trying to get it as well. He gets around as well. He's going to fight up there, and he's gonna shut the door as well. Now Bobby Hall is falling back to third. This might be by design, though. Bobby Hall is very good at taking care of his tires. He might be just letting these guys go and saying, I'll see you in 10 to 15 laps when you burn them up.
Alex Haley had a very good run on the outside on Gordon Spain, was able to get the lead. Let's see how long he can hold it. They have noticed during long runs he gets really loose, so.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see here. Now that he's got the point, though, he should be able to kind of just settle down, keep the truck underneath him, and ride. I mean, he's pretty stable there, so that's good.
One of the only guys who's running to the top right now.
Yeah, and Chris Phillips needs that caution badly. There's Chris Phillips. He was 3 wide there just a second ago. So he's trying to go through the field, but I don't know that that's gonna work. He's got to get a caution. And Alex Healy is just doing great. Almost a, let's call it 8/10 right now of a lead. But he is in control right now. It's exactly what he needed, and we were kind of writing him off a little bit there, but he gets this caution, and now he is out front, and we still got some laps to go though, so he's got to keep that truck underneath him. And you look back at Chris Phillips is driving mad. He's hot. There was some chatter on the radio there. I don't think he realized that he was a lap down. And we'll address that in post-race, but he is, and so he needs a caution here.
Bobby Hall has really fallen off a lot this run.
Yeah, and I've seen him do this before. I think he thinks that it's going to go green, and he just refuses to abuse his tires, and if it does go green, it's going to pay off for him. But we'll just have to see. If it does go green, he's got Schumacher on the outside here. And I think both of them are going to pass him here, so he's just, I don't know, letting him go, I guess. Back out front, over a 1.3 second lead now, so Alex Healy is growing this lead as we speak here, and he may be thinking, hey, I know the tires are going to fall off, I'll get as big a lead as I can and then just try to hold them off as we get to the closing laps. He's doing a great job. Also a beneficiary of this caution is Stephen Shu in that 00, now in the 4th position. He was in top 10 on the lead lap, but this has definitely helped him out. Chris Barker gets himself back to the 3rd position here as well. It looks like Gordon Spain, for as sporty as he was, is kind of falling back a little bit. 2.5 now is the lead for Healy, and Barker is not on his back bumper, but definitely closing in on him.
First couple laps of this run, Chris Phillips had driven all the way up to be the 5th car running, but it looks like he's abused his tires a little bit too much, starting to fall off a little bit.
Yeah, that happens when you drive as hard as he was for a couple of laps there. And Chris Barker now is inside of Gordon Spain for the 2nd position, and he's going to make that pass right there. Put Chris Barker in P2. And the lead has shrunk. It was almost a 2.5 there for a minute. Now it's 9/10 to Alex Healy. So Alex Healy is kind of the way his runs have gone tonight, unfortunately. Very fast in the beginning, but it falls off pretty quick for him. And not running the high side there either. And the high side is what got him that lead. So let's see if he kind of running that middle here again. The lead is shrinking hard. You see that the seconds just ticking off on the tower there. Under 4/10 now. Chris Barker and Stephen Shu has gotten around Gordon Spain as well while we were watching that. And now there goes Highbaugh as well. So Spain, I think, stayed out, did he not?
He came in with everybody else.
He did, okay. There you go. Barker looking to the inside for the lead. Oh, and Healy taps the wall just a little bit, but that's going to be enough speed scrubbed off of that truck that Chris Barker is going to be able to get around there, and he's going to be to the lead here with 27 to go. Now look at Highbaugh working on Stephen Shu there for the 3rd position. Highbaugh is doing so good on that bottom side throughout the run. I mean, just very solid for him tonight.
It's one of the only guys who can keep it on the bottom the entire run and still run fast.
Absolutely. Stephen Shu trying to use that outside for the momentum off, but the 41 just passed him on the bottom. Look at the run he gets, though, so he's going to go back to the bottom. Now he's going to force the 41 to go up high, who does not run there a lot. 97 is falling into the clutches of both of these guys now. Now, Alex Healy is in second. He's probably going to lose a spot or two here, but still, you know, Bobby Hall is in 8th. Go back and take a look at him. And look, he's got trucks on his bumper too. Let's see, Ledford is not for position, but Dan Worthington definitely is. So there it is right there. He's definitely catching Bobby. That's exactly what Healy wants to see. Is even though they're teammates, he wants to see him fall back as much as possible. Now Barker out front has not been able to increase his lead very much, but I mean, if he's smart, he's not even trying. He's just going to ride and keep that gap and not hurt his tires. And Stephen Shue and Highball still going at it back there. That lets Healy kind of away from them for the moment. 25 laps to go here. Wow, and Shue got really loose off that corner. Highball got a little bit of a break there. Unless it was Highball's bumper, but couldn't really see from that angle. Now they're working on Gordon Spain.
Highball's got a really fast truck on the bottom, but his speed just goes away as soon as he goes up to the middle and the outside.
Yeah, you can see why he runs the bottom, because that is where he's fast. So when somebody gets to his inside and traps him on the high side, he does not like that.
You saw how fast he just went around too on the inside.
Yeah, that's just wild. That is not typical of Homestead at all, but he's able to make it happen. In the 4th position, Gap and Shue it now. Going to try to work on Spain here as soon as we get to him. Chris Barker is increasing that lead a little bit. Now it's 1 second. Healy is clean for the moment. He's got a little bit of a gap himself, about 8/10 or so. Second place would not be bad for Healy here. He would definitely make up some points on his teammate. I mean, his teammate, the pits? Bobby Hall, I think, is in the pits right now. It doesn't say that, but I mean, he's a lap down in 12th. That's a little confusing. I must have missed that, so apologize for missing whatever happened there with him, but he is a lap down in 12th, and he had to have pit. Otherwise, there would have been a caution if something else happened. But anyways, so he's losing positions in 12th. Healy's in second. I mean, that's 10 points right there, and the gap is 11. So this is huge for Healy if he can hold on to this. Now we got Hall passing Dan Worthington with ease. It does look like Hall has fresh tires right now, so. And if he passes Chris Phillips, which he's going to do right now on those fresh tires, he's going to be the first truck lap down. So at this point, if we get a caution, Chris Phillips will not be able to get back on the lead lap. And Dan Worthington just smacked the wall right there. As it sits for those points, Chris Phillips and Dan Worthington for the 3rd position. You see the gap there. They're right next to each other. Chris Phillips will get 1 point on him, but still going to have to make up a handful of points in the next race if this is how we finish.
Even Shue just came into the pit.
Barker did. Chris Barker just pitted. Barker was in the lead in pit. Stephen Shue came with him. Those two on pit road. Gordon Spain is back to the lead. He got around Alex Healy, is now at the lead. So Healy passes Barker when he pit and got passed by Spain. So still in the 2nd position. Bobby Hall, first truck a lap down, is about ready to get by Healy, and then he'll pass Spain, but. He's going to do that by, let's say, lap 17 to go, and he's going to have 17 laps to make up a whole lap on these guys.
We saw last run how good Gordon Spain is on old tires. I wonder if he's going to be able to go to the finish line here.
He might be able to, but I don't. He's not. I don't. Yeah. So here comes Barker again too. I don't think these guys have time to get a full lap back around on him. This really could be if Gordon Spain has the fuel. This really could be his race. Healy's still hanging on, got about 7 or 8 tenths to Schuenbachler behind him. How crazy is it there's only 8 trucks on the lead lap? Bain's going to let Barker go and maintain that lead in a 1.75 second. We'll call it Alex Heath right there. He only has about 3 tenths now on Schuenbachler, so he looks to be catching him for sure. Bobby Hall has gotten himself back up to the 7th position here, so he is making a good comeback. He crosses the stripe right now, and the leader is, 100 feet behind him. So he's got a lot of track still to make up. There you go, right there. You see Bobby on the front of your screen. Gordon Spain coming into it now. So that is the gap there, and he's got to make up a lot of ground if he's going to get back to the lead. And with these guys pitting and having faster tires, it looks like Foster and Shu have gotten around Chris Phillips for the first truck a lap down. That is going to hurt his chances of trying to get back on this lead lap at any point in time, unfortunate. But still in front of Dan Worthington, so going to make up at least a point here. Schuenbachler's gotten around Healy there as we were looking at other things. Oh, and Healy is loose right there, very loose. And he's going to lose this spot to Highbaugh. And this is where the gap closes right here, because Hall being in 7th, 20 seconds back from 6th, he ain't going nowhere. But Healy, you can see, is falling back quickly right now and is literally going to be in 6th right now. And so it's only going to be one spot that he's ahead of him. I'm not going to make up the points that he was really hoping for tonight. Gordon Spain's still leading. 14 to go, coming to 13 here in just a second. The lead looks like it's growing a little bit, over 2 seconds. As we're watching that, Barker and Hall are side by side. This is a point for Healy, so he really wants to see that. Barker's going to get by here. He's going to, definitely going to clear that and make that pass. So that's going to be an extra point for Healy if he can maintain his position. He's got 7 seconds on 6th place, so I think he's going to be fine with that. That's going to leave a lot of points for next week. Gordon Spain basically maintaining that gap and getting a little bit, half a tenth or so every lap.
Barker wants to catch Spain. He's going to have to run more than 2 seconds a lap faster every single lap.
Yeah,
even
absolutely.
then, he won't have more than 2 laps to actually get around him.
Yeah, I mean, even if he can do second a lap, still way off, right? He's still not going to be able to make that. Barker's last lap was a 34.84. Spain was at a 36.42. So not quite, about a second and a half he's making up, but that's not going to be enough at 26 seconds down. Now he could definitely catch a couple of guys. You know, I mean, he could definitely catch Babanchek in the 55 truck there. He could definitely catch 6th place in that time. That may be all he's got time for, depending on how much these guys are falling off. Healy and Grainer there, Flex teammates for 4th and 5th.
I haven't said much about Matt Granier today. He finishes round race runner right now. He was in that points battle with Daniel Worthington and Chris Phillips, so he's gonna have a lot of spots in both of them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. That he is 5th in points and only a couple back from 3rd. So he is actually going to be the beneficiary here of this race. He's gonna pick up points on both of those guys, about 5 or 6 points, and I would bet that would put him into the 3rd position going into the final race. Oh, look at Healy get screwed right there. So like I said, the 97 and 15, those are teammates, and you would like to think that, you know, Healy being in 2nd, that he would let him have it, but you know, Grenier wants to get 3rd position to get on that podium, get him a trophy this season. So I don't think he's going to be playing team orders right now. I think if he can pass, he's going to. Kind of fell back a little bit there. He's got a second back on him now. Gordon Spain, the lead is under 2 seconds to Schumacher there. And as he crosses the stripe here, we are 7 to go.
It's like that lap, Schulenblocker and a little bit on Spain.
A little bit.
But been extremely consistent though.
Yeah, for sure. Look at Spain all the way down at the bottom there. The truck on his outside. I think he's got fresher tires, so he just wants to get around him and get it done with. Doesn't lose much. He only lost about a 1/10 there, so that's okay. At 1.7 seconds, with what I'm seeing, this is really Spain's race to lose right here. And I'll be honest, I'm surprised that Healy's holding on to the 4th place. It looked like for a second there he was getting loose and falling back, and I thought he was in big trouble, but he has collected it back up very well to keep himself in the top 5.
Notice he started running a little bit lower. It's actually kind of helped with his handling.
Yeah, it may have helped his loose off, right? And that makes it so that he's not eating up those tires so quickly. So 5 to go here now. Gordon Spain still at 1.6. So, you know, Schumacher is chopping off about a 1/10 every lap, but with 5 to go, that's not going to get it done. He's going to be about a second short here. And I didn't catch it, and apologize for that, but it looks like Chris Phillips may have been into the pits again. He is now 2 laps down in 15th. So Worthington being in 11th, he is going to get a few spots on him. But like you mentioned, Grenier is in 5th, and Grenier's going to be in 3rd position after this race is over. If we finish like this, both of those guys have had problems today.
I feel bad for Chris Phillips. At one point in this race, it looks like it was completely his.
It was, and it's just tough, you know, and you get that one caution, you know what I mean, that is just ill-timed, and that just derailed his whole race, unfortunately. But that opens the door for other drivers, you know, Hall and Phillips. Oh man, and that is that the 33 of Schumacher that just got in the wall hard, and I mean he hit the wall, came down, went back up into the wall, and that thing is wiggling down the track. It is damaged. He is losing time fast, and Highball is going to go by. But 2 laps to go, he's got to just ride it out. But look at him go down to the inside, probably just trying to get out of the way. This is going to give another spot to Healy right here for sure with 2 to go. And look, he can hardly hang on to that thing, but he's got to try. Oh, that's rough for him right at the end of the race. But 2 to go now. Gordon Spain's got a great lead at this point. He can just coast from here essentially. Coming to white flag here. 1 to go with a 5-second lead for Gordon Spain. Highbaugh's going to be in second. What a great run for him tonight. Healy's going to get third if this all maintains. We took the white flag, so this is going to be final. Gordon Spain all alone coming down the backstretch for this victory. Couple more corners and it's his. And there it is, coming to the checkered flag. Gordon Spain gets your win. Highbaugh coming across in second. Healy will be third, and Matt Grenier is going to get fourth. And Mascot Mike is going to come in fifth tonight. Great run for him. Great to see him in the top 5. And one driver just said they're out of fuel. I didn't catch who that was, but that's how far they were running it on that one. What a great race, great finish. I'm excited that Healy got third place because we're going to get to talk to him in just a second. That was wild. We'll go through
That was a good move by race. That was a good move by Race Control letting that run.
Yeah. We'll pull up our driver detail on him. As soon as everybody passes, we'll pull up the grid. There it is. You see we talked about our top 5. Chris Barker gets 6. Bobby Hall ends up 7th. Stephen Shue in 8th, Alex Foster in 9th, and 10th is going to be Dan Worthington rounding out the top 10 there. And what a run for these guys. Let's get Alex Healy in here first and foremost, our third place finisher. Let's grab him and talk to him for just a second. Alex, Matthew in the booth, you got me?
I've got a copy.
Dang, I don't even know where to start, bud. You were fast as lightning at the beginning of the runs. It fell off. You were running the high side loose. I mean, man, tell me about the run tonight.
Man, it was early on. I was just trying to learn. I didn't have a good grasp on where I should be running high and where I should be running low, and I kind of figured it out halfway through the race. And I was running the top through 1 and 2, and the bottom 3 and 4, and I was starting to feel pretty good about it. And then just at the end, started saving fuel, and I was hoping that I did a better job than anybody else of it. Unfortunately, that was not the case. I had looks like 3 other guys that were just as good, if not just a touch better than me. But it was fun. It was treacherous. It was tied in, loose off. Corner exits were, whether you're on good tires, bad tires, that it could get you at any time if you weren't paying attention. I whacked the wall pretty hard in 2 one time, and I think that ended up being our last caution. It wasn't because of me, but I was just kind of hanging on, and I was able to come down and get that fast repair on that last pit stop, and then decided pretty early on that I was going to try and save and make it to the end, because I had another set of tires in the pit, so if we had another caution, I was going to come take those and just light them on fire. But we didn't have to go that route. But all in all, I mean, top 3, it was like my teammate Matt said, it was a little demoralizing. We thought we did everything right, but that's just how she goes sometimes, man.
Well, it was an ill-timed caution for quite a few drivers, but didn't seem to hurt you too bad. It seemed like you at the end there, it seemed like you had a couple of trucks behind you. You thought you were going to fall back quite a bit, but then you kind of held on to it and got that finish. I mean, as far as the points go, you made up almost half of the points that you get to your buddy Bobby Hall there. So, I mean, good points night too, right?
For sure. And that was, I mean, for a long portion of that stint, I would say probably at least 10 laps, I was clutching it and shutting it off, because I was out to the lead and I was trying to manage that gap, and the guys got to me pretty quick, and I just didn't think they were saving the way that I was. But hey, it is what it is. We gave it the old college try.
Yeah. Well, hey, P3 is not bad, and making up points is good. Now you take her to Phoenix on the last race and see what you can do. So can't complain about that. You got a shot, right?
For sure, we're in the running. We're racing for something at the end of the season. We're within striking distance. Phoenix is not a strength for me, but we'll try and put some laps in this upcoming week and try to get just a touch better there.
Sounds good, buddy. Well, congratulations on P3. We'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. Which still here. Shout out Alpha One Foundation, VFW Post 1536, High Voltage, Natural Life TX, Natural Life Apothecary, Mag Real Estate. I think I hit them all there. Did I miss one?
You got them, buddy. You got them all.
All
Great
right.
job.
Shout out also Flex Motorsports. We're missing Wes tonight. He's on vacation. And shout out my wife and the kids if they're watching. Love you guys. Appreciate the sport. I'll stop yapping now.
All right, buddy. We'll see you next week. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
All right, there you go. There's Alex Healy. Let's switch to our second place driver now, Josh Highbaugh. And there he is. Let me see if I can drag him. There we go. Josh Matthew in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, Matt. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing pretty good, bud. You got a great run out there tonight. Tell us about your drive.
Well, I knew if I could hang out on the bottom, everybody else was gonna float to the top, and they was gonna burn their stuff up. And sure enough, they did. Uh, Unfortunately, I didn't have enough for Gordon at the end. I was battling with Steven Shue for a couple laps, and I ate a bunch of tire up, and I managed to save enough fuel in that last run to make it right to the start finish line before I ran out.
Awesome. Are you the one that came on the radio and said you're out?
Yeah, yes, sir. I was
Okay.
hoping somebody would push me around, but I wanted to see Gordon's burnout, but
Yeah.
it didn't happen that way.
Well, tell me a little bit about that. I mean, you were the one guy that was glued to the bottom all night, and it was working for you. Some guys couldn't do it. Some guys had to be on the high side to get speed, but you were doing it on the bottom and keeping it snug and not getting loose. And how are you able to do that when that's just not typically what we see here?
Well, I knew that I practiced this in a hot setup, uh, probably about 400 laps all week long, and I stuck to the bottom. And I knew I was going to give up some short run speed, but after about 8 laps, as you guys could see, the truck really come on, and it had a bunch of grip. As long as I didn't battle for position, um, as soon as you go to the high side, you run the high side for 2 3 laps here, you lose 8 9% on your tires.
Yeah.
So as hot as the track was, I told myself just stay committed to the bottom. Yes, the outside line looks like it's faster, but it's really not. You gain about a tenth and a half per lap per corner by running the bottom. Um, and basically it was just trying to tell myself, hey, be smooth, be consistent, and I there's a lot of good guys in this league. I was trying to give Healy and Bobby Hall and them their room because I know they're running for the points. Um, so I didn't want to battle them. So a couple times me and Alex we got real close to each other and started swapping spots. And I didn't want to do that to him. He needs as many points as he can get and going forward for the championship. So
Yeah. Well, awesome. I mean,
it
it was a great run to watch. It was fun watching you doing something nobody else could do, and it was a good drive. You got any friends, family, sponsors, anybody you want to thank for tonight's race?
well, SFR, Anthony Lane, Dale Rapp, Robert Aramall, Mike Allen, who's on vacation, couldn't be here tonight. Gary Huffins, them guys, we've really tried to step up our racing program and venturing out, doing a lot more officials and trying to join more hosted and just get our SFR name out there a little bit and see where we can go later in the year.
Awesome. Well, very good, buddy. Congratulations on second place. We'll see you next week.
Hey, thanks, Matt. Have a good week, bud.
All right.
All right.
All right. So let's switch now to our race winner, Gordon Spain. Hopefully he's around here somewhere still. There he is. Let's get him. Gordon Matthew in the booth. You got me?
Hey, Matt, how's it going?
Man, it's going pretty good. What a run out there, huh? Take us through kind of the strategy and
Uh,
what you were trying to accomplish.
Um, well, I was kind of hoping the caution never came out. I feel like I had everybody, covered on one less pit stop.
Mm-hmm.
And but there that last run, I was able to. I guess a lot of guys didn't feel like they could make it the rest of the way, and I knew if I saved enough, didn't drive it as hard, I could make it easy.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as easy as I thought. I pretty much ran out coming out of 4 on the last lap
Yeah, I think everybody was
and
on
shut
the
it down.
edge, man. But it was
Yeah.
good. Right? I mean, you were fast all night. It's just when Ethan and I were talking about it, it was like, man, what's going to happen here? Like if we get a caution, if we don't, the field's so stretched out and has different strategies going. Like it's hard to understand what's going on. But you look strong and you look like you were going to be a player regardless of caution or not.
Yeah, I feel like I was. Shit. That second pit stop come around, and I still had 22 laps in the tank. I was like, ain't no way I can pit now. So I decided to just run it all out.
Well,
I did
that's
a little
crazy, but
math,
it
and I
worked.
think I can make it on
Yeah.
one less stop than everybody.
Yeah. Well, hey, it worked
Either
out.
way, turned into a great race.
Yeah, it sure did. You did a great job. It was a great run. Give us your friends, family, sponsors. Who do you want to thank for tonight?
Yeah, like thank you, SRN, Mag Real Estate, Natural Life, my teammates, OG Motorsports, E-Wrap for doing this sweet Spain's tire paint scheme on my truck. And yeah,
Very good. All right. Well, awesome, man. Congratulations on the win. We will see you next week.
see you next week. Thank you.
All right. Well, there you have it. That's it. Any last words you got on this race, Ethan?
Well, congratulations to Gordon Spain. That was an excellent race. He plays his strategy out extraordinarily well. I think next week is going to be extremely fun to watch with how the points are dealt out today. I think Bobby Hall's going to have a run for his money.
It certainly tightened some things up. We probably had a change for third. We'll obviously report on that at the beginning of the next race, and we will go through it. But yeah, it is shaping up to be an exciting race at Phoenix for our final race, and we will see you all. Everybody, tune in next week. That's it. We're signing off. We'll see you all next Wednesday. Y'all have a great week.